Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
You're on.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
You behave yourself.
I'm going to try.
Don't.
Yeah. Join in when you get ready.
Okay.
Here you go.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time car show. We have our dear friend and car enthusiast Ron Stein in the house today.
In the studio.
Mr. Mars continues his series on banned race cars. Today, the 92 Nissan Skyline GT-R, which, by the way, I saw one of those at Autorama last weekend. We have the upcoming events calendar and today's news headlines and more. It's all just ahead on today's In Wheel Time car show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Conrad is off today, and as I mentioned earlier, in the house with us, sitting in Conrad's spot, the very famous and fabulous Ron Stein.
In my own mind.
And in our mind, too. So it's good to see
Perfect.
you. Yeah, and
Nice
we're going to get to Ronnie here at the bottom of the hour, so hang in there with us. But right now, we're going to start off with our first guest, and his name is Scott Bonvissuto. And, Scott, good morning. Apparently, I get the award for pronouncing your last name right.
Yay.
Yeah, congratulations, buddy.
Well, thanks so much. So, Scott is with a company called the Console Vault in-vehicle safe.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. And we thought that this was a pretty interesting thing. And, you know, Scott, instead of me trying to stumble my way through a description, in two sentences or less, why don't you describe what this Console Vault is?
Well, basically, a Console Vault is the company. The in-vehicle safe is the product, and what we manufacture is a high-security safe that installs easily into your center console, and it provides the utmost in security. So if you need to store your valuables, there's the place to put it.
So does it fit inside the console, or does it replace the factory console?
Well, no, it's a total slip-in, easy do-yourself install. And I got another example here. First of all, this is a current Toyota 4Runner, and it's made of heavy 12-gauge cold-rolled plate steel, powder coat finish. And what's really unique about our product is the way it's engineered, it just slips in. So basically, if you open up the console, empty all your contents, you'll see two screws that hold the console itself to the floorboard.
Yeah, right.
You remove those two screws, and if you notice at the bottom, we have two pre-drilled holes. You basically slip this in, open the lid, and then install it from the inside, close the lid, and it's secured. And that's what it looks like outside the console, and this is the finished product. This happens to be my daily driver. This is a 2019 Ford F-150 Roush conversion Nightmare. Has a supercharger in it, but
Did you
this
say
is what it
nightmare?
looks like.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You've got to wait just a minute here.
Yes, sir.
A nightmare? I like it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
See my seat here? Here you go.
nightmare.
Yes, sir.
And Roush makes this?
Yes. Roush is actually one of our customers. We do supply safes to them. And I'm always a Ford guy. Ford's our customer too. And then the Roush package, when they bought this product, or this truck, I should say, they told me it was the fastest production truck out there. 650 horsepower, so it's a fun driver. But I digress here, but this is basically what the unit looks like in here. And you can see I have the different badges on here because these are different customers we sell to. But the finished product is very nice, very durable. And the easy thing about it is these are the tools you need to install it. Basically, either a basic socket set or a screwdriver. So it's a non-intimidating installation. So it's an easy do-it-yourself product.
And nobody would ever know that it's really in there.
No, that's the nice thing about it. People walk by, they look in, it looks totally stock. It's hidden underneath the lid. You open this up, and lo and behold, you have a safe.
So that's
high
the sort of
secured
combination lock that's on the top there.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. So what's the method of getting in and out of the safe?
Right now, we have 3 lock options. One's a barrel key. It's a key lock. And then we have a combination. This happens to be the combination. So you just put your combination into the dial, turn the knob, you open it. We will be introducing some new lock technologies in the next year, early next year, which will include electric combination, and also we're looking at doing biometrics. But
Biometrics.
right now,
So in other words, like put your thumbprint on it.
Yep, thumbprint, fingerprint, that kind of thing.
That's pretty darn cool. How big is this thing? Do they vary by the size of the console?
Yeah, we are limited to the factory console, so all shape, all sizes, in all dimensions. So some are bigger, some are smaller. Obviously, this F-150 is one of the larger ones. We predominantly do trucks and SUVs because it's a larger compartment. You know, when you get into passenger vehicles, the compartment becomes very small, and it becomes unpractical. The safe is so small. So we are coming out with a line of universal safes that don't specifically install in the center console for the smaller vehicles, and those will be coming out next year also.
So let's say I've got a CHL and I'm going to lock up a pistol. What is the largest pistol that would be able to fit in there, or does it matter the size of vehicle and the size of compartment?
Well, I get that question all the time, and with the, like I said, variable sizes, different shapes. I use the analogy, if you can fit your handgun into your console without a safe, it's going to fit inside the console, inside the console safe. So, like, for example, you can see this is a much bigger vessel to work with, where the 4Runner was smaller. But again, it gives you ample size. So again, rule of thumb, if you could fit it inside the console without the safe, it'll fit inside the safe.
Now let's just change thinking here for just a second, and say that I've got a $1,500 bottle of fine whiskey.
Sure.
You're drinking and driving.
And I'm thinking that, I don't want to risk leaving it in the back seat as I go to Grandma's house for the holiday, and I want to lock that up. Will it fit a quart jug in there, or a fifth?
You know what? In mine, probably. Maybe in that 4Runner, maybe not so much. But again, you bring up a very good point. We say lock up your valuables. Your valuables are very unique to you. So maybe your bottle of bourbon is your valuable. Someone else's their watch, their ring, etc. So to answer your question specifically, though, again, we are limited to what the factory provides us for size.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking the same thing. Your valuables. There's a lot of times you're going to a game or something like that, and the wife doesn't want to carry your purse.
Absolutely.
And that looks.
I could tell you a real life story. We went to a game. I got season tickets here up in Cleveland for the Browns, and we took my sister-in-law, and they got a rule that you can't bring a bag in. And so she shows up with her bag.
Of course.
Lo and behold, she has to go back and put her purse in the vehicle, and she was freaking out because she had to do that. It fit it fit inside the safe. It gave her peace of mind for the rest of the game,
Very
and
good.
it was there waiting for when we got back.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got another question for you. Now, so right now you guys are only building these for center consoles. I know that there are some trucks that have a storage area under the back seat where you lift up the back seat. So do you guys have an application for something like that?
We will be having those out shortly, and we're expanding the product line all the time. So those are actually in the works, in the development right now. So hopefully sometime early next year we'll be releasing those products. But to answer your question, yes, we're looking at any and all options.
Yeah, because I mean that would be something that would because you can make them much longer,
right?
Because that area back there, for the most part, is longer, and that would be a good hiding place as well.
Yeah,
and I have to admit to you, I have a large, nice collection of gold chains, and I'm thinking that this would probably be a good thing for my gold chains when I go to the game.
Pretty much, sure.
Yeah, and if he's taking his best
it's
bourbon,
very adaptable. It's very adaptable. Sure.
If he's taking his best bourbon to Grandma's, let Grandma get her own bourbon.
Maybe.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, there's that, and I could probably borrow some of her gold chains.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so where do you get these things?
I was just going to say, we make it very easy. You go to www.councilvault.com. We make it very easy for you to look up your application, pick your application. We have currently over 140 SKUs covering hundreds of applications. And they're, like I said, they're predominantly trucks and SUV because of the larger compartment. And right now we are running specials for the holiday. So take advantage of that. But again, and then, if there's any problems, call our customer service at 800-878-1369. We can answer any questions. But again, one thing I want to stress to your viewers, this is a very easy install. Should not be intimidated. It comes with step-by-step instructions. We walk through it, walk through the whole process with you.
Well, so even we could do it.
Yeah, I don't know about that now. That's kind of pushing our luck. Well,
basically, if you could change a light bulb, you can install the council safe.
We're out.
I'm sorry, that won't work for us. But okay, so here's the other question for you. Now, we talked about inside the vehicle, but we didn't talk about the trunk. You got anything for the trunk?
We are actually looking for that. So, Ford, we do business with Ford Motor Company, and they approached us for the next generation Mustang. And lo and behold, we found out the compartment is, rather small. Guys, we can't do it. We would love to do it for you. So we're looking at options to do it in the trunk. Today's trucks or cars, you see they come without a spare tire or without without the basic stuff that we used to get back in the day. So there is areas where we can install or design a safe to be installed in those compartments. So the short answer is, of course, we're looking at that.
Good. Yeah, because, I'm thinking of cars mainly, there's ample room in there, especially on the sides of the trunk next to the wheel well or behind the wheel well, that would be easy for a side opening kind of deal.
So these are all current year projects, the current year product that you're doing.
Right. Well, we have with my company, we do two major segments of the market. So we have a direct to the consumer, which is our retail e-commerce, and then we are also an OEM supplier. We supply to Ford Motor, some to Toyota, and Roush Automotive. So the OE kind of drives our new applications, and that obviously trickles into the aftermarket where we do the older models. So we're always on the cutting edge. We have unique relationships with the OEs where we get the drawings ahead of time. So, most of the times we have safes available before vehicles are launched. So, yes, it is mainly new vehicles, but you can see as time goes on, those new vehicles become older vehicles. So we just kind of keep building the list.
It's called the Console Vault. And what's that website again?
It is councilvault.com.
Councilvault.com. That's easy to remember.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got a ballpark price for one of these? Because I'm thinking about a Ram 1500. But I
Ram 1500, no problem. Well, again, base starts around $299 for the safe, and then we have a couple lock options that may bump the price up. Right around $299 is your base price.
So for under $500, you could have a steel vault that could hold all of your valuables, including your gold chains.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what to do with all the junk that's in there now first.
Well, yeah. I'm thinking there needs to be a kind of a divider that goes inside there so you can put all of the crap that you normally would have fallen down in there anyway that you'd never see for 10 years until you sell the vehicle, and then have the good stuff on top.
Yeah, well, that gives you the option to kind of personalize it yourself. We did offer some add-ons in the past, and things were, some were hot, some were cold. But we found out we leave it up to the individual because you can see, the car compartment is very large, so you divide it up the way you want. So that's up to you, the end user. But, you're all right. You can divide that up, and, we provide a foam pad at the bottom, the cushion, your belongings in there. But it's up to you how you want to use it.
Yep, I like it.
I think of a lot of times cameras and stuff. When I used to carry a lot of them, but I was always looking for a place to stash them where nobody's
out of sight.
Them.
Yeah, exactly.
Guns, gold, and
absolutely.
booze.
Because
think about valet too. When you go to valet, you do stuff in your truck. You could you lock it up.
You know, and it's funny because remember we used to have locking glove boxes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Right. Back in the day, right.
Yeah, if nothing else, it was just kind of a deterrent. Okay, well, I can't open it, and I've only got a couple of seconds. I'll just rummage through whatever else is open.
Right.
But with the new consoles, there is no locking mechanism on them, and just open them up and help yourself.
Another thing that was brought to my attention, I got to do a little bit more research because, to get more information about it. But there's evidently a device where car thieves are walking a parking lot and they're able to detect Bluetooth items inside a vehicle. So it picks up the signal. So he did a review on one of our products, and his suggestion was you wrap it in tin, like your cell phone or your iPad or whatever. You wrap it in tin foil, put it underneath your seat, and that blocks the signal. Lo and behold, when you put it in one of our vehicle safes, because it's a steel compartment, that blocks the Bluetooth signal, so the detectors don't pick up that, so they leave your truck or your car alone. That was very eye-opening to us that we just learned in the last several months. And we're going to explore that too.
That's very cool.
That gives you that option.
Yeah. We wear tinfoil hats here in the show.
Tinfoil hats. Yeah.
That's up to you guys.
Yeah, and lead-lined helmets as well.
Right.
Hey, Scott, it's great to talk to you, man. Thanks so much for getting up this early in the morning and talking to us. We appreciate it.
Hey,
yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity, guys. Anytime.
All right. Well, you take care and keep us posted on your new stuff.
Absolutely. But everybody go to counselvault.com. Take advantage of the specials. You can email me personally with any questions. My email is scott@counselvault.com, and I answer my emails.
I thought it was Scott's Hot, scottshot.com.
Well, I got to look into that one, buddy, to see if it's available.
Take care, Scott.
Can you get this by Christmas? Last question. Can you get it by Christmas?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If we're saying if you get your order in by the 15th of December, you'll have no problem. And
Perfect.
We have plenty of inventory.
Oh, that'd
plenty of
be
inventory.
what a great Christmas gift idea.
Yeah, that's what I was
Especially
thinking.
Going into hunting
Absolutely.
season.
Put
and
your
stuff.
gifts in the lockbox, and that way nobody.
Absolutely.
There you go.
There you go.
Scott, take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Scott Bonvissuto.
Very good.
You're such a linguist.
Listen.
Among other things.
You can't mention.
There's so many things that I could say, but I'm not going to.
Please don't.
I guess I just did, didn't I? Kind of. Without saying it. Ron, did you ever see the movie The Hollywood Nights?
Oh, just say
my
yes,
God.
Ron. Just say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, here you go.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Lawrence of Arabia.
See what you started? Come on.
Well, we always pay homage to one of the great classics. It's right up there with Gone with the Wind and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Airplane.
Airplane.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's a good one. So, hey, thanks for joining us today on the In Wheel Time Car Show. In the studio with us today, a rare and much sought after in-person visit by the fabulous Ron Stein. And thank you very much for getting up and coming and seeing us.
Well,
of course, you've probably been up since, 3 o'clock this morning? If you're like me.
No, I have been up earlier, but I was a little excited about coming here, A, getting here, and number two, what I was going to talk about. And Mike, wonderful Mike here, explained to me what my role here was today. So I have to.
What is your role here today, other than it causing a great disturbance?
My role is here today? Because I could be in bed too.
I think that's one of the things that we should try to shoot for this year is each of us do the show from our own beds at our own homes.
Better idea. Contact Mattress Mac, and we'll do it from his showroom.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a king size bed, like in a semicircle.
Tempur-Pedic.
There you go. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
One of those that
We'll have
raises up and
cameras
down.
Right.
We'll be in touch, Mac.
Yeah. That'd be perfect.
So if you're not familiar with Mr. Stein, he's been a friend of this show for, 10 years now.
At least.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure.
And we really got to know Ron when he was in charge of a show that no longer actually. Do they have the Dallas show?
No.
They don't have that show either.
No.
Well, that's a real shame. It was a great show. It was done on a golf course up at La Torretta, which is now Margaritaville.
Correct.
And it was an interesting show in the fact that a lot of absolutely stunningly beautiful cars all the way back to the 1920s would show on the golf course up there.
Would that be like a Concours?
It was a Concours d'Elegance.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the Texas Concours.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an offshoot of the Keels and Wheels, and some gentlemen came in and decided that it would be a great venue for the event, and a wonderful resort, which made it completely different, where people actually could stay on the grounds and display their cars. And, there was a restaurant there, et cetera. And unfortunately, the gentleman the auction company that liked the venue, the chairman was from Dallas, and he saw how popular it was. And he saw how many cars were available, and he moved it after 5 years to Dallas, yeah.
And how'd that work out for him?
Well, it worked out well until the country club there decided to remodel, and they couldn't have it for a while. So they moved from one beautiful venue in Houston to Dallas, and it went on for a couple of years, and then they couldn't put it on anymore because of all the construction equipment and the damage to the grounds. So, to be honest, Don, I don't know if it's still going on or not, whether they've recouped after the construction.
Well, obviously, the original Concours d'Elegance here in Houston still doing very well, Keels and Wheels, and that is a by invitation only kind of event, very similar to Pebble Beach, and that has kind of taken on a life of its own, and is highly respected, and so the competition's tough in that area.
Well, when we started with 30 cars and 10 wooden boats. And when I left 15 years later, we had 200 cars and 100 wooden boats.
Yep.
So it speaks for itself. I mean, and early on, people don't want to join something or bring a car to something that's unknown. So we had difficulty in the beginning of having a concourse at a yacht club. And all of a sudden, like Topsy, it just grew. And we got some wonderful cars and wonderful PR and some great judges and great competition from individual owners who had collections. And also car clubs were a main force in the work of the people that would help put it on, basically.
Right. Well, and the fact that you've got a built-in reservoir of people, helpers there at the country club. Everybody volunteers and everybody comes out to help put the thing on, because I don't think that you could put on an event like that without some free help.
Oh, no question about it.
Because, I mean, it takes a lot of people to put on an event that size. And it's kind of like the rodeo.
Yeah. Yep.
They would not be what they are today without the volunteers out there. And everybody has a good time, and there are perks to being a volunteer. So it kind of, it's a wash your hand kind of thing. And it's unique. And I kind of alluded to this earlier, and let's get into it at the bottom of the hour about how the whole car showing cars, concours, how that all is changing and evolving every year. And us old people.
Let's say experienced.
Experienced people. Okay, we'll say that. Right. It'd make you feel better. We'll say that.
I'm sticking with old.
Are you? Okay.
It's easier.
And bald?
Yeah.
Well, let's not get carried away.
But pretty.
Okay.
And gray.
And gray. Yeah. Those that have a full head of hair. That's always good to have.
Grass does not grow on busy streets.
Is that what they say?
That's right.
That's
what I say.
Well, okay.
I still carry a comb with me, but I just can't part with it.
You just can't part with it.
Put tissue paper on it. You can hum through it. It sounds like a kazoo.
I'll need to try that.
Oh, please.
Do that. Who has the events calendar?
I do.
Well, Mr. Zekin, I think that since Conrad's not here today, that somebody needs to do the events calendar, and apparently it's you.
It's going to be me. Well, today is the 4th, so we're going to start with tomorrow. 12/5, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We got the Chrome and Coffee.
Which will be, by the way, the last one, because the guy that owned Prince's Hamburgers died of COVID.
Oh no!
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you did say that.
Yeah, John. I think that, I don't know if you guys met him or not, but really a nice guy. It's a real shame. And I guess Princess is finally done with.
Okay. Well, that's tomorrow.
Yep. That's over at the Sharpstown Golf Course.
6600 Harbortown Drive, Houston. It's cruising only. Entry is free. And then again tomorrow at 6:30 to 10:30 is the Woodland Car and Coffee for a Cause. It's at 9595 Six Pines Drive, the Woodlands. Cruise in only. Entry, you can donate. I mean, you got to donate. So, and then moving on again for tomorrow is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Cars and Coffee, Aggieland Outfitters at 303 University Drive in East College Station. Cruise in only. Entry fee is free. Beautiful. Tomorrow also, you've got 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pistons on the Park and Austin's Park and Pizza. That is in Pflugerville. It's right around the corner from you, Mike. Entry's free. And then, of course...
it's one of those cities that, you've heard of, but nobody knows where it really is.
Yeah.
Except the people that live there.
Yeah.
Pflugervillians,
yeah. Pflugerites. And then Sunday's a test and tune at Houston Motorsports Park. That is at North Lake Houston Parkway. Again, tomorrow you've got 8 a.m. to 11. You got brunch, coffee and cars, People, Pena, Donuts, and Diner. That's a mouthful. In Pearland Parkway. Tomorrow again, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. ride on Faith's Cowboy Church Toys for Tots.
And let me also mention the fact that we are going to be at Tailpipes and Tacos on the 18th. I'm sure that you've got that on there. But
you just did.
Okay.
Yep, perfect. Yeah. And then the last one I've got is Freddy's Steakhouse, Steak Burgers, I'm sorry. Freddy's Steak Burgers. It's a cruise-in only, and that is at 1705B Fry Road in KT.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Mars has banned race cars. The 1992 Nissan Skyline GT-R. In 1992, I had never heard of the Nissan Skyline.
Well, I hadn't either. And you don't hear too much about them. But after we talked to the guys last week at the Tuner Gallery, then I thought, that's you ought to see it. My son mentions the Skyline every once in a while, and the Fast and Furious movies had them. But I found it interesting that the Skyline really came from the Prince Automobile Company in 1957.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. And then later on, they merged with Nissan and Datsun.
That's not it, Jeff.
That's not it.
Datsun.
That's not going to do that.
No, that's not it.
Here we go.
Then when it launched in 1957, it had a 1.5 liter engine in it that wasn't real big, but the second gen of it that came up in 64 was a 2.0 liter engine that had a whopping.
That's not it either.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one we're going to get to.
I was going to say, because that's not a 1964 model.
No.
I guess you didn't have a picture of that.
No, didn't. Pictures are kind of hard to find of these things.
Okay.
So anyway, that's where it kind of came from and where it got into and really where it got its name, because people started calling it Godzilla, was because of the monster win record that it developed in the racing.
I thought it was
like 1968
Japanese.
to 1972. It won 49 out of 50 races it entered.
Oh.
And then later on, there was one series that it raced, they won all 30 of the races, even with things like when they started penalizing it over in Europe, putting a 309-pound penalty on it to try and make it a little more comparable to the existing cars. And then they started turning down the turbo, putting a valve on it so it could only have so much boost on it to try and slow it down. Before they actually banned it. And it wasn't until the 1992, whenever they actually got into it after it made some inroads into Daytona and Pikes Peak and all over the European and Australia, has this monster record of wins everywhere it's gone. But to do it, to get it competitive, that's what they started penalizing it to slow it down so that the other cars could keep up. Ended up banning the four-wheel drive on it. And a couple other things that we've talked about that they did with some other cars. And then part of the thing with it in the United States, the JDM, got to be 25 years old to get here. Mm-hmm. So that's, they could bring it in as a race car because it's just coming in to race but not to sell. And that's the reason you find some of the older ones out there that are starting to pop up now.
Okay.
And that's what got it banned. It was too good.
All right. Thank you, sir. In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. And the In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
It's a very special Christmas Tailpipes and Tacos car cruise-in, Saturday, December 18th at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Bring a toy for Star of Hope and have breakfast on us. Tailpipes and Tacos will award trophies for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. It's the Great Christmas Cruise-In on Saturday, December 18th, so make plans now. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in, and this one brings it all together for Star of Hope in a Toys for Breakfast Christmas special. Bring a toy and get a free Loopy Tortilla breakfast, plus trophies for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Get your ride ready for a very special Christmas cruise-in Loopy style. It's Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, December 18th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Let's celebrate the Christmas season together at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Toys for a free Loopy breakfast, Saturday, December 18th, 8 to 11 a.m. We'll see you then, weather permitting. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.